Today I fucked up asking my dad about the bruises on his face. A few nights ago I, 22 male, had dinner at my parents' house. I noticed my dad had bruises on his face. The bruises kind of looked like burns. When I asked my dad what happened, my mom answered. She said cooking oil splattered on my dad's face when he was using the frying pan. I asked my dad what he was doing with a frying pan because I've literally never seen him cook anything in my life. My mom answered again. She said my dad was failing to follow an easy-to-follow recipe. I asked my dad what was going on in that frying pan for him to end up so crispy. Closing square bracket opening parenthesis. My dad said nothing. He was in a mood. My mom joked about my dad cooking the flesh on his skin instead of the meat in the pan. I asked my dad if he was gonna allow mom to roast him like that. My dad finally opened his mouth and said he was done allowing my mom to do anything to him. My mom suddenly said my dad's name in her serious voice. My dad said if he had to choose between the frying pan and my mom using candle wax during sex without wearing her contacts, he would have gone with the frying pan. My mom shushed my dad, but he refused to shut up. My dad said he was sick of the frying pan story because it made him look like the dumb husband. My mom encouraged me to ignore my dad and finish my food, which prompted my dad to tell my mom to stop babying me and to start treating me like an adult, whose parents were honest at all times. I begged them not to be honest at all. My dad said the frying pan accident was a story my mom fabricated because she didn't want anyone to know that she was too blind to recognize the difference between his face and his chest when she dripped candle wax all over him in bed. I tapped out and said too much information. My dad shrugged and said I asked. I was unable to continue eating. My dad noticed and said if he could finish the job with burns on his face, then I could finish my meal. He winked at my mom when he said, "Finish the job." It was nightmare fuel. TLR noticed my dad had bruises on his face that looked like burns. Asked him what happened. Kind of expected a funny, family-friendly story since we were enjoying a family dinner. My dad said my mom dripped candle wax on him during sex before he encouraged me to finish my food like he finished inside my mom. I am no expert, but I thought candles for wax play are different and melts at a lower temperature. If your dad is suffering from first-degree burns, you might need to help educating your mom and getting candles better suited for their private activities. Maybe spend an afternoon shopping with your mom and give her a male's perspective on candles your dad might like. I am just teasing with you. Don't do all that. Just send her the links and she can learn by herself. I get that it's TMI for you, but WTH is your mom doing? Like someone already said, there are special candles with low burning temperatures for this kind of activities. But most of all, if she is too blind to properly aim, it's just dangerous. You don't just do wax play on someone's face as you can seriously damage someone's eyes, for example. She needs to educate herself, and frankly, so does your dad. Your dad is an absolute king. I love how your father is a crude, uncouth individual according to the TLDR. Reading the story, he becomes the protagonist, and by the end, he's the hero. My dad finally opened his mouth and said he was done allowing my mom to do anything to him. My mom suddenly said my dad's name in her serious voice. That made me think there was some domestic abuse going on until I read the next sentence. Could be worse. Today I fucked up and got fired over chicken nuggets. I work or rather worked at a fast food place. A little over 2 weeks ago on a quiet evening at work, an old couple came in with who I assumed to be their granddaughter. They were all wearing matching knitted sweaters, and I remember thinking just how adorable they looked. They deliberated for a bit while counting the money that they had. Then the old man ordered a kid's meal. I took their order and went to prepare it myself because we sometimes do this if it's quicker or for other reasons. I gave him his order and he thanked me. They went to sit down not far from my station and he handed the meal to the child. She offered to share her meal but they encouraged her to finish her food by herself. They reassured her that they were not that hungry. They seemed to be content just watching her eat. She finished and they left. I felt bad for them and looked over at my colleague who also witnessed this, and he just shrugged. The following day, they came again and ordered the same thing. I told them that they could take a sit and I'd bring the order to them. When no one was looking, I instead secretly used a bigger box and filled it to the brim with nuggets and fries. I think it's important to point out that we are not allowed to do this. People have gotten fired before for giving their friends more food, but I did it anyway. I brought the order to them and they were surprised to see the size of the meal compared to yesterday's. I gave them a knowing look and a smile and they thanked me. I was just pleased to see them all eating. This went on for 2 weeks, although they did not come in every day, but I still gave them the extras whenever they would come. On Tuesday, they came in earlier but not to eat. They wanted to thank me for helping them through a challenging couple of days. They appreciated the extra food that I gave them because aside from the kid eating at school, that was everyone's only meal for the day. On the bright side, they were finally able to receive much needed resources, so they wanted to let me know that they won't be coming in anymore. We laughed over the fact that they actually don't like fast food. I told them that I'm glad that I was able to help a bit and wished them well. When I turned around, my colleague was there but he didn't say anything, and neither did I yesterday. My manager wanted to speak to me. He told me that he got a tip-off that I have been stealing from the store and giving my friends extra orders. The camera footage spoke for itself and there was also a witness. The same colleague who shrugged when that family first came in. It seemed that he was spying on me. Funny thing is, he and I both applied for the same position in the store and were waiting to hear who got it. I guess he wanted to eliminate competition, which worked because I got fired just in time for my birthday. TLR, gave an old couple extras on their order for 2 whole weeks and I got fired for it. This is why I never trust coworkers anymore. I used to keep thinking that if I just got the right job, then the right coworkers would come with it. I did that for 15 years of my working life and have learned just recently that you're always being spied on. If you can, don't let yourself become jaded. You did a good thing for those people. The right thing, in fact. You helped those people survive, and compared to the cost of corporate profits, that's zero sum, my man. You message me if you need someone to be your last boss for references. This isn't a fuck up, this is wholesome. Fuck greedy corporate policies. Salute to you. Kindness goes a long way, you stay the same, we need more people like you. Karma will get that snitch's ass someday. That wasn't a fuck up, that was human decency and compassion. Sucks you got fired. If I was your boss, I would have at least given you the opportunity to pay for the extra food, but maybe let you off with a friendly warning. I own a restaurant. Getting fired for this is wrong on 2 levels. 1. Your manager should have a process whereby you can take care of people in this situation. We feed people for free often and my employees are empowered to make these decisions when I'm not there as long as they text me. 2. Firing you for caring about customers and building long-term relationships with them is just wrong on a lot of levels.